For a long, long time, I wanted to have my music online, like streaming. And for years, I put it off. There was always a reason why I couldn't do it. The songs weren't done. They weren't good enough. I wasn't good enough. I couldn't sing them the way I wanted to. You know, any reason in the book would stop me, and for years it did. But something changed a little while ago, about a year ago, when I was starting my songwriting community, when I first got in there in the first few months. And I made a video, a couple of videos before about the community, which you can check out if you go back a little bit. But I gained a lot of personal confidence. I didn't think I was the greatest. I knew I still had work to do, but I had enough encouragement from the group to go forward and make it happen. And so I decided I was going to do it. I was going to set a goal. I decided on a song, and I made a deadline. I kind of said to myself, all right, I'm going to have it done by February 21. And I made another video about the importance of deadlines, which you can check out as well, because they are super important. For some reason, they work. They trick our brain into working. However, so what I learned and how I got over my perfectionism. So once I made the decision that I was going to do it, that got things into motion in my head. And I started to get to work. I figured out the song I was going to do. And I just jumped in there. I started recording it. I think I did a scratch track. And that revealed to me where the song wasn't finished and where I wasn't sure about things. So I learned that, you have to know the song pretty well. You have to have the song really figured out before you record it. And so I did some work on that. I came up with an ending I liked, wrote the bridge. The funny thing about it too is you're forced to make creative decisions when you have a deadline. So you can't keep lollygagging around a part. You have to decide that you're going to go with this section. You're going to go with this bridge, and you're just going to record it. So it kind of forces you outside of your perfectionism, which is cool. So after I finished writing the song to a structure that I thought was felt good to me, then I got in the studio and I started tracking things. And I work here in my home studio, and I used virtual drums. I made the drum track. I laid down bass, guitar, and I started to build out the track. And the thing about producing and self-producing too is that you really cannot always envision. I mean, at least for me, I'm not like Brian Wilson or some, genius producer who's got everything figured out in their heads. I had to get into the track, into the project. I had to start building out the track, and you learn what is working. You learn what you don't have figured out yet, and you start to creative problem solve. You start to come up with parts as you're working. Again, and the beauty of the deadline, right? It gets you into the problem, and you have to come up with solutions. So that's sort of important, right? Because it gets you over your perfectionism too. You have to just make decisions. I think oftentimes our fear of making or taking action is due to our fear of making mistakes and experiencing discomfort of not knowing, not having the answer, and having to be in that kind of uncomfortable spot of having to solve a problem. It's not always fun, right? Another interesting aspect to getting over my perfectionism and getting the single out the door was that I had to contend with my voice. And I don't know about you, how many of you are singers out there, but you probably know, if you're a singer, that your voice is so deeply connected to your emotions and your mind and how you feel at any given moment. It's like a mirror. It's like a reflection of your current internal state. So tracking vocals on this song was hard because I had to get over my perfectionism. And the vocals are by no means perfect, and I think I could have done them better. But that wasn't really the point. The point was just to get in there and start learning, start experiencing what it feels like to be in the studio, recording your song. And I felt, as I was tracking my song, I felt all of these crazy things in my body. I could feel where I was holding tension in my neck, in my solar plexus. And the recording experience really started to help me notice and shift a lot of these things around. So there was a lot of personal growth there. And I think that's kind of the silver lining to all of this. When you set a goal for yourself and you put yourself into the battle, the creative problem-solving world, the real juice is not in releasing the song or finishing the project, because you release the song, it's cool, your friends and family all dig it for a week or two, but after that it goes cold, and it's a fleeting thing. What you really get from pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone is the personal growth that comes with it, the personal experience and satisfaction of having gone through that and coming out the other side. That's something that builds you up and it grows you as an artist. So, that's the beautiful thing about it, is that it makes you into a stronger artist. Good or bad, right? Like, it teaches you something. It either shows you a higher version of yourself, or it shows you what you might need to focus on, what you might need to work on in yourself, something that you're not experiencing or acknowledging in yourself. So that's really, really cool. So anyway, that's kind of my experience with it. The takeaway, I guess the big takeaways is, well, if you're stuck and you're stagnating, and maybe you don't know what the next thing is, get into a community like Song Farm, get around people, start moving in the direction that you want to go in, and then figure out what that next thing is for you. If it's releasing a song, then you know what it is, set a deadline for it, put it on the calendar, and make a choice that you're going to do it. So that's kind of my journey of how I got over my perfectionism and finally got my single out into the world. And if you want to listen to my single, I'll link to it in the description here. I mean, it's not my best performance. I feel like, I left some on the table, but that doesn't really matter. I stuck to my deadline and I got it out there anyways. And honestly, like, you gotta take your licks. Like, you gotta start somewhere. So you can check out the song in the description. But I would say to you, if you have a similar goal, you want to get a song produced or recorded, maybe it's a different goal. Maybe it's just getting out to an open mic or something like that. The first thing I would say is, like, put it on the calendar, make it real, set a deadline. It was a lot easier for me when I was in Song Farm, being in Song Farm. They helped to encourage me to do this. So maybe you want to be in a community too. You can check out Song Farm if you want to reconnect with your music again, and you want to be around people who are also doing that. It's not just accountability calls and songwriting circles. It's more about helping you to realign with your voice and get some momentum again. So anyway, I bring it up because Song Farm really helped me to get that momentum to start. But get a deadline on there, find some accountability. If you want to work one-on-one with me in your own personal music writing journey, reconnect with your songs again, get them feeling really true to you, and then take it all the way to the finish line with getting it produced and all that stuff, then you can work with me. You can book a free discovery call on the link below, and we can have a chat and see if there's a fit there and all that good stuff. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Sorry this was a bit of a ramble again. I don't have any notes here. I mean, I do have notes, but I don't like to really read them. I just want to kind of have a discussion and just riff. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this, and I hope to see you in the community soon. Reach out, let me know in the comments maybe what you're working on, if you've got a project, or again, just book a call with me to have a discussion. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.